every weed out of the grass. It was the worst summer of my life and the best summer of my life. And I just kind of had this I got to prove to him. So I had this connection with him from way back. So when I was seeing him struggle and I was seeing my dad struggle about it, I kind of went, you know, put your money where your mouth is. You know, what are you going to do with this $100 grand? Leave it to the SPCA. Or he has like, you know, stocks or like everyone has 401k. He's done all right for himself, and he's just sitting there, just like no one will help him. And I said, you know what? I'll drive you, man. You know, and he said okay. And so when the ticket, you know, it was all done via email with this, you know, the lady that runs this aviation thing, and it's like he's got this funky little business that he keeps running it. And I showed up and the bus was right there, and we got in it right there and drove. And I just started rolling tape, and then that's what happened chronologically. It really
So how did you take those pictures of him while you were
driving?
I know. Were you looking at him or were you looking at the road?
I know. The beauty of the wide angle lens, I guess. That's what I'm saying. The camera's like enabled the whole thing, because the audio, right? There's nobody with a mic anywhere, right? So like that scene where the ladies are in the far end of the room, it gets automatically attenuated. So, you know, I'd say, hey, you know, the acoustics were great in that room. You know, what did you think? Do you have a guy like that? And you know, they were probably listening. And the way that came together, for me, I was like, I can't believe this camera. You know, like I didn't have to take the camera over to them. It really had a sense. So the camera really just enabled it in a way that I couldn't believe it. You know, and it was all manual. You can see I know how to focus a lot. I'm better at it now. But I put this old lens on, an old Nikkor lens. It was very fast, so I didn't have to mess around with any of the lighting, the aperture control. I could do it manually. So the camera just went away. Whereas, you know, with handycams, you know, people just, you put that up to your head and everyone just goes, not here, sorry, put that away. With this thing, it was just around. And a couple of times I got busted. You know, so obviously people knew that I was rolling or doing something.
Yeah, because that's one of the questions I had in the clinic itself.
Yeah.
A lot of the procedures and things.
Oh, that was not supposed to be in there.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely not. However, people like, you know, I was...
Were they aware that you had it, or did you have it?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah. And a lot of people were just like, they got caught up. You know, I would do a shtick. I would, like, because we were getting, you know, I mean, it was like the Herb and Mike show kind of thing. So they're like, forget the camera. Who are these guys? And
well, I can see how your uncle would be able to talk his way out of anything.
Oh, it's unbelievable, this guy.
He's really quite sharp for a 90-year-old.
You know, yeah, isn't he amazing?
Well, how old is this now? 2 years?
Yeah, that was 09. So we did that in October of 09, and then in 10 I worked on it, and then last fall I more or less got it to this shape, and it's just been kind of sitting on my hard drive.
Is your dad and your uncle, are they the same age? Like
no, Dad's a little younger, yeah.
So they look really, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Did he look at it himself, or no?
Oh,
I realized it was.
Yeah, and I have his. Right? I got a little Uncle Herb in me. He came to Mexico where I do a lot of work, and we go to the taco stands, and they still talk about him. Because he came, and it's a great story. So I have a buddy down there. We're kicking around. We're in our 40s at the time, and I gotta go pick up my dad. He's coming to I think his brother's coming with him. And and my brother, you know, Uncle Herb just tagged on. Once he heard my dad was going to, you know, his little brother's going to Mexico to visit he's coming. So he somehow, and he shouldn't be flying. This is like in 06 maybe. He was a train wreck at that time, and so I go to the airport with my buddy, and we're like checking all the chicks coming out from Cabo, you know, like, oh, when I'm doing this, he goes, oh, look at these two guys. And the door had opened at Cabo, and it's like this frosting doesn't open, and there's this guy in a wheelchair. And it's Herb, and he's like this, and he's like that, and my dad's not much better. Pushing him, he goes, look at these two guys. I go, oh, that's my dad. He goes, I sure hope he's not the guy in the wheelchair. You know, and it was these two broken down but fighting guys, you know, in Cabo, and we picked them up and showed them around, but they're still talking. So now they go, in Spanish is your uncle, they go su tío. And it took me for a long time. I was like, what are you talking about, su tío? And then it was like, how's your uncle? They all want to know Uncle Herb still, and years later.
What is your dad like? Is he like?
Super soft, sweet guy.
Different, you know, you could tell almost in the video, right?
Uncle Herb, the story that goes around is Uncle Herb got $1 or 50 cents from their dad, to take him to the movies. Uncle Herb, they walked all the way across Hamilton or wherever, get to the movie theater, there's luge seating or something, so that 50 cents would get you one seat, and he sent Dad home.
Aww.
Yeah. And that's the dynamic. Still, right? It's still
really?
Absolutely still going on. So my dad's like this younger brother, and you know, and it's kind of, so I didn't know what this was about. And I really struggled with it. So I went back, because his wife, you probably wonder, like, what's his wife doing through all of this? And when I showed up with Uncle Herb at that doorway, what I didn't realize, she wanted to divorce him about an hour later. And it was the most tragic night I've ever seen. After the night we got there,
After the surgery.
when we walk, you know, the
Right.
dog's barking, and she gives him the pat, you know, and then she kind of ignores him. And I swear this is true. So she starts cooking dinner. She starts drinking. He doesn't like. She doesn't drink. I never, you know, any mirror. I never. She starts drinking white wine or something. Herb's like feeling better. He's still, you know, he's still like, he just came out of surgery, right? And she starts telling me I want to divorce him while he's in the bathroom. Okay, and I'm like, I'm looking for the camera. Yeah, yeah, and I'm looking for the camera going, this is, but I can't because this is, you know, real, right? Like, it's, and you know, I mean, I'm like, that's what the struggle was. Like, this is, I was just talking. Now this thing's happening.